What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We're back at it again, week after week, second week of 2022, and we're going strong.
Super strong.
I mean, at least we're trying. There's a lot of obstacles thrown in our way, but you know what? You just got to keep trucking.
Keep on chugging.
Keep on chugging, because what else can you do, right? So, let's just get right into it. My name is Marco Dupa, and that guy right there is Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
What's up, brewskis?
What's on tap for tonight? The big Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard has sent the gaming industry into a whirlwind.
A tizzy,
A tizzy.
if you will.
And honestly, we just feel like we got to parse out as much as we can from it and then just, see where we go from there. I mean, this is I mean, not to be hyperbolic, but I mean, it's a industry moving fucking life altering move. It really is.
Whose life is being altered by
I
this?
mean, honestly,
Besides maybe Bobby Kotick. We'll see.
ours, it could be.
Yeah.
We'll get into it.
Okay. All right.
Tonight's brew is from Redlight. It's their Hollow. And Obi, please give the people details and all that jazz on what we're drinking tonight.
This is the Redlight. Hollow Milkshake IPA. I say those words with fear and trepidation. The read goes as follows, based on Redlight's own Instagram post. We've translated this popular Filipino dessert, meaning mixed in Tagalog, into an exciting concoction that was brewed with ube and jackfruit along with sabro hops that were used to enhance the tropical flavors.
Well, there you go. It's a little different from last year's Hollow. I mean, we did it. Yeah, we did it.
We definitely did it.
Oh, we did it, and it did you in.
It did me.
So this year it was made with jackfruit, like you said.
Right.
So we'll see. I mean, you don't have to down the whole can.
I'm not gonna. I have a spare beer on the side, and I have Lactaid ready.
There you go. So without further ado, let's just get this baby rolling. This is episode 338 of the One Beer In podcast.
Don't hurt me. That ube.
Someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m. takes me to a place.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the story of a girl named Hollow, and also the One Beer In podcast. The podcast where two brews crack open a brew, and we see where that one brew takes us. Thanks as always for listening. Thanks as always, subscribing, sharing, all that jazz. Please, we need it. We need the support. We appreciate the support and the fandom and all that. So, without further ado,
Clink it up.
So the Hollow is seeing its glorious return in conjunction with Orlando Beer Week. So when this episode goes out, that'll be the start. So if you're listening to this episode, that means that today
It has begun.
yeah, January 22nd through the 29th is Orlando Beer Week. So use that time wisely. Visit some of your favorite breweries in the area if you're local, obviously, because they're all going to have some really cool stuff going on. I know that there's like some cool shit with Sideward. There's some really cool stuff at the Commission. I'm sure, Orlando Brewing has some cool stuff going on. And, of course, Redlight has some really cool shit going on. All week, we've got events So we've got the Halo official release, which will be Sunday, so the day after this day after this episode goes live. We've got there's going to be food there, the traditional like Filipino
food.
So that's going to be really fun. We've got Smash Brothers event. Shout out to Steve and Brad making their Smash Burgers. That's going to be next Wednesday.
Great name.
Right?
Yeah.
We've got an event for our crude Kolsch. We're seeing the return also of the side pull pills. So whole week there's going to be a slew of shit to do. So pop by Redlight. You guys should have a good time.
Stay thirsty. Tip well.
That's right. All right. Let's get into it.
Get into it, yeah.
The big news in gaming. The biggest news.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I read a headline from CNN that seems like it was written by like, a high schooler. Sony takes a big hit in the console wars.
Yeah. Only people who like are outside of gaming are still like the console wars. Yeah. Or fucking trolls on Twitter.
Sure, of course.
But I mean, you got the article pulled up. Just give the people a basic rundown of what has happened.
So, Microsoft made some big moves. They've already went and bought Bethesda not long ago. I think only a few months ago. And now they're making another power play for Activision, which, if you aren't familiar, is known for such indie titles as Call of Duty.
Yeah, the small games.
Activision and Blizzard, a company joined together. Blizzard, obviously, huge for nerds like you who enjoy the game Overwatch and plenty of others.
Heroes on the Storm.
Warcraft, right?
Warcraft, yeah. That's the biggest one.
Yeah. So there's obviously tons of very big implications involved with that acquisition that Microsoft just did. Making a lot of people worry about what the future is for those franchises.
Yeah.
And also excited if you're already within the Microsoft ecosystem, you have an Xbox or you're playing on PC with Game Pass. People are speculating and wondering what this all is going to mean. What do you think? What do you think this is going to do as far as a consumer level, since we don't have any, stock involved in these companies, and we aren't execs or even peons. We are mere fans.
I got a bad feeling. about it.
I don't know about this.
Not only for the what this is going to do to the companies and games involved with this acquisition purely, but what it's going to mean for the future of gaming, and as far as like monopolies, and when it there's already, we've seen it time and time again where a company has a monopoly on something and the quality just nosedives.
Speaking of Call of Duty,
exactly. And then the other franchise that comes to mind is like when EA got the rights to the NFL, and then Madden, the quality of Madden it's just not. It's just like they don't have to. There's no competition. When Madden was going head to head with NFL 2K, year after year, you would be like, I'm actually not sure which game I'm gonna get.
Right.
And it competition or options, I guess, breed competition, breeds higher quality. It's just it just happens.
They have to fight for your money.
And when a company like Xbox or Microsoft rather goes in and buys, how could even, why would Activision even sell?
That's a very good question. I mean, the bottom line is money. So they obviously got an offer they couldn't refuse from Microsoft.
Well, it was like what, 60 billion, 70 billion?
Something like that. I think they rounded it up to 70. I think it was like 68 or something like that. Something crazy, something very crazy. But yeah, I mean, I think it boiled down to money, and they couldn't turn that down. And I don't think it had everything to do with obviously the issues they've had with Bobby Kotick and all of the controversy going on with really bad allegations as far as their work environment.
Yeah.
Specifically in Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
But I don't think it helped.
Yeah.
You
think part of it is them just going, we don't want to deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
Here.
And
deal with it.
It could be a pretty easy way to get a new guard in.
Yeah.
A new guard in, not a new garden. I mean, I'm sure they can afford a new garden with
They definitely can afford a new garden.
multiple billions.
The first thing that you think now, the first thought that comes to your head, that if you're a Call of Duty fan, for instance, and you play on PlayStation, the first thought is, well, now Microsoft owns that, and there's no telling what they're going to do with the franchise. Are they going to completely X out PlayStation? Mm-hmm. Are they going to make it so that all of the exclusives go to Xbox? Mm-hmm. Are they going to do like timed exclusives?
Which isn't, I've heard some conjecture of people like saying that's a ridiculous thing to think. I tend to agree that that's not going to be the way they do it as far as exclusivity is involved, but it's not a crazy thought because that's what's happening with Bethesda.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Games.
I don't think it's a crazy thing to think at all. Why would you think that a company like Microsoft would acquire these companies without at least the thought or theory that part of it is to wipe out their competition?
I just think there's too much money on the table for a franchise like Call of Duty for them to make it exclusive. I mean, you could say the same thing about a Bethesda game like Fallout.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like Call of Duty is a different thing.
I mean, but you're literally forcing people to buy your console, and you're saying like, look, I mean, they could theoretically just go, hey, we understand that it's gonna suck, but fuck you.
Sure.
Because like, why would Microsoft take into account the feelings of people who don't even own their products?
But it's not the feelings, it's the money. Because they're still making money on PlayStation owners if they're selling it to them.
Yeah. Well, so then that breeds the other side of the coin. Does Sony go, I mean, now we have to go through our direct competitor to get these games. Sure. Like, how much money are they going to lose by just going, we're just not going to... We'll continue to keep the servers live for like the older games, but like we're not going to invest in the newer games. What's keeping them from doing that? They've got enough exclusives. They've got enough games.
Sure.
It's high time they bring back Killzone or something. They can fucking, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
they don't have the built-in fan base of a Call of Duty, obviously.
Sure, yeah.
But
I mean, they have their own. I mean, their first-party exclusives are the best in gaming. Mm-hmm. So there's no question about that. But
so what's to stop them? That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of question marks surrounding this. That people are like, don't panic. It's not that big a deal. It's like, this is a huge deal. It's the biggest deal.
It's a pretty big deal.
to try to minimize the impact that this is going to have, it's just people just not wanting to face the truth that like in 20 years, probably less than 20 years, there's going to be like 6 companies in the world.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And people want to try to ignore that fact. But
Amazon,
it's like,
Apple.
Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Sony.
British Petroleum.
Disney. British Petroleum. And the Yum Company that owns all the fucking fast food restaurants.
Yeah.
That's it. That's right. That's 7.
Maybe
right
no.
there.
There's definitely going to be Tencent because they're just the Chinese global juggernaut buying everything.
Right. Tencent.
Yeah.
Or Tencent.
I think it's Tencent.
Yeah. And then that's it. And then I don't know, whatever Eastern European company is got a stranglehold over there. I don't know. But the rest of them are just going to get bought out by each other. Oh, and the telecommunication companies, which will probably get bought out by like, Amazon or Disney. I can definitely see Disney buying like AT&T and just owning telecommunication.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we have like what antitrust laws and stuff like that. That's supposed to keep monopolies from happening.
Yeah,
But,
we've seen how that. I mean, remember like 10 years ago, there was like 9 different carriers you could go through.
Yeah,
They were all over the place. It was an embarrassment of riches. It was like, who do I go through? And it kind of didn't even make sense because you're like, what is the difference? There can't be this many antennas out there, this many different antennas,
Right.
antennas. And then they
Satellites.
all just started merging. And
Yeah.
then like some of them didn't even make any sense, and you're just like, what?
Now we have the appearance of options, but
Yeah.
really it all funnels down to the same
And
company.
that's really what it's going to be, is the appearance of options. And
Yeah.
maybe with this Activision thing, maybe that's the point. It's like they're going to, in 5 years, you're not even going to think about the fact that Microsoft owns Activision. If everything stays the way that it is, then you won't even think about it. Because honestly, the only time I think most consumers are concerned with who's making the game is so that they can have someone to blame.
Sure, yeah.
Like, obviously, you know the names that when either it's a high quality game and you can trust that company, Rockstar and companies like that. Well, but the quality of the game itself,
Sure.
is it's always going to be a good game.
Mhm.
The rest of that's
Except for their most recent remake of GTA, but
yeah, but okay. But what I'm saying is those 3 games though are masterpieces.
Yeah, at
you
their
know that
core,
like
yeah.
when a new game comes
Sure.
out, it's going to be. So yeah, you either know a company because it's fantastic, or you know it because you steer clear of it.
right,
And
or they have this reputation.
And so it's like, in 5 years, probably less than that, if everything stays even keel, and I'm still on a PlayStation, like, does it even matter?
No,
at the end of the
it doesn't. It really doesn't, because what concern is it of you where the money is funneled to, as long as it's not like a nefarious company,
Right. That
which it can very well be. Speaking of Activision Blizzard,
yeah,
or Tencent, like
that part doesn't really. Well, it's hard to know. I mean, if you know where your money's going, and it's going to a place that you don't want it to go to, now you have a moral
obligation.
dilemma.
Yeah,
And you're like, do I want to continue giving my money to a company?
but what if the game looks really cool?
No, that's the thing. Like, what if it's
What if
really-
all your friends are playing it?
Yeah, I don't know.
But
Move this away from your mouth a little bit.
it's going to China and oppression of the Uyghurs.
Well, what game? I mean, what money isn't going to some nefarious thing? You can't look at it like that.
I hear the excuses coming. Sure, they're making concentration camps, but have you played this game on mobile?
Yeah,
Are
people
you
die all the
kidding me?
time. What do you want me to do?
Right.
I can't go out there and save all these people.
Mhm.
No, yeah, I don't know, man.
It's
I don't
tough.
know.
It's tough. I mean, yeah, especially when you're not forced to come face to face with, where your money is going, which they are very good at not having that up front and center
Yeah,
or known at all.
yeah.
It's tough, but I don't know. I think it is your obligation to look into some of these companies before you start putting your money towards it.
You'd be surprised when you start looking up where the money's going,
Yeah.
where it's going.
Always follow the money.
Every time some like political activist, does all the research on like, hey, this is where this is where your dollars are going. Every minute you spend watching this TV show or
Yeah.
watching this channel, and then you see like the list of all these companies, and you're like, fuck, man,
Yeah.
I patronage
Your patronage? Yeah.
all of those companies.
You patronize.
I can't,
I think it's the same word with a different meaning. Yeah. Yeah. Like you don't pay, because patronizing means like, you're
talking down,
talking
condescending.
down. Yes, condescending, but like in a way it makes sense because you're giving them something. Like you're you're like throwing them a bone. Essentially, it's what you're doing when you're patronizing somebody, because you're saying, "Oh yeah, it's fine. You're doing great," you know, even if you don't mean it. But if you're a patron and you're patronizing by giving somebody money, you're kind of doing the same thing without the negative connotation. So I think that's where that word comes from. I'm not sure. Everyone, look it up.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, do you feel good about this?
As someone who subscribes to the Game Pass, yes, I do. I feel great about it.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. See, that's why this that's why this doesn't matter to you as much.
I mean,
if you were stuck on one console like me, you'd have different feelings on
this.
this.
Yeah, I guess so.
To you, it's like, well,
I truly don't believe that they are going to make Call of Duty an Xbox exclusive. I do think they're going to add it to Game Pass. I think that there will be exclusives for Xbox.
Yeah.
They're going to get DLC first, probably. But beyond that, I really can't see them just saying, okay, Call of Duty is now only on Xbox.
And there's always been a better working relationship between Microsoft and Activision than there was between Sony and Activision, because like almost always when Xbox would get like cooler shit, not like cooler shit, but they would get stuff faster than Sony sometimes. Back in the day, I remember, because I had an Xbox and they would advertise it. It wasn't it was never exclusive, but when you looked at the commercials, they were Xbox commercials. They weren't, and it was always like those Mountain Dew collabs were always like Mountain Dew, Microsoft.
Right.
So I think their working relationship has always been tighter, and I think that's why this makes a lot of sense that they do this, especially for a company like Microsoft. It makes total sense for them to do this. That's the other thing about capitalism, I guess. When you're a company like Microsoft or any of these big billion-dollar companies that can afford to do something like this, it's like, kind of, why wouldn't you, other than a moral obligation to not? It's like the plot of Inception. They need Cillian Murphy's character to break up his father's company, because if he doesn't, he becomes an energy superpower, and he basically takes over like clean energy in the world. Yeah. And Ken Watanabe's character is his only business rival, and needs him to do this. Now, there's obviously implications there, because it's like, you're his rival. Of course you want him to break up his company.
Yeah. He has his own motives.
Yeah. But the plot remains, and it's allegorical to what's happening in the world right now, which is like all these companies buying each other up and merging and stuff. And so, I don't know. The only thing that would stop a company like Microsoft from doing something like this is just them going, we don't need to do that. Let's just keep the competition going, right? Am I right, guys? Yeah. It's like Vince McMahon just like not buying WCW just because he's like,
competition's
competition.
Good. Yeah.
It's like, I've got the money. I'm just gonna go. Why compete when I can just buy you out?
Yeah.
But fuck.
Well, it's funny because Phil Spencer, I think CEO, is it, of Microsoft?
Yeah, I think so.
Is he or of Xbox? I mean, executive vice president of gaming at Microsoft. He has been very vocal about, a healthy competitive space between Xbox, Nintendo, and PlayStation, and it's kind of like championed that. It's to even like giving out the congrats guys posts on successful Sony games launching and like things like that. So like, at least in the outset, there is some respect for the rivalry. There is some, I guess, friendly banter between the companies, unlike there used to be.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's good to see at least. And I think that they're nowadays more willing to play nice than ever.
Well, I think that goes back to what we were saying about that CNN article or whoever wrote that.
It was CNN, yeah.
To have the headline be the console wars is silly because, nobody even really acknowledges the console wars anymore. And I think it's because both companies have been so successful to the point that they can now have friendly banter and not worry about this war because they have different priorities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, of course, they can congratulate each other and have, kind of suck each other's dicks online.
Sure, yeah. It's good PR,
yeah, exactly. Because then everybody jumps on. They're like, it's super cool that Xbox did that, and ditto and vice versa.
Right, and it's not like somebody on air quotes PlayStation's team, as far as having the console, is not going to see that and potentially go, it seems kind of cool that Xbox is saying such nice things about PlayStation.
Yeah,
let me check out what they got going on too.
Yeah. There's just something human nature about like wanting to support somebody who seems like a good person and like they're doing positive stuff, and you're just like, I like that guy.
Yeah. Well, it makes you look stronger too.
Yeah.
If you're confident enough to congratulate your rival, it's like, okay, well, you're clearly not worried, so cool.
Clearly not worried. Smash cut. Buys fucking one of the biggest fucking developers in the world.
It's like the mafia kiss of death.
Yeah.
Exactly. Give him a hug, kiss him on the cheek, and he's gone
and
by
he's done
by sunset.
Yeah, so of course they don't have to worry about shit like I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, and I don't like it from a perspective of being worried about monopolies like we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I do like it from a consumer perspective because I do feel like this is going to be a good thing for the Xbox community and the gaming community at large, because even if you don't have an Xbox, you may have a PC, you can play these games on Game Pass. They may be out day one. You don't have to pay an extra fee. That then makes the entire gaming community a bit stronger because there are more people. Because I would guesstimate that the vast majority of the biggest games from both Activision and Blizzard are at least have an online component to them.
Yeah.
So the bigger the online community is, the stronger the gaming community as a whole is.
Right.
Because, especially if they keep selling to PlayStation, it just makes the games, long tail even longer, because people will stay in those platforms playing forever and ever and ever, especially something like Warzone,
Yeah.
If they just continue to get more and more people playing, as long as they have a subscription to Game Pass, then, I guess Warzone's a bad example because it's free anyway. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Playing online, multiplayer, whatever.
Well, yeah, keeping you within that ecosystem, keeps you supporting that thing, keeps you on the game, keeps you just... Did you see that article about how Sony was like, we're going to offset PS5 shortage by just making more PS4s?
I did see that.
And it was literally were like, yeah, we just want to keep people in the Sony ecosystem.
Right.
So however we can do that. And it's like, can you imagine... First of all, can you imagine having the kind of money to be like, I can't get a PS5 right now, so I'll just buy another PlayStation or buy another PS4 until
I can find a PS5.
Can you imagine having that kind of money, first of all? And then second of all, like the idea that...
Lack of patience, really, more than anything else.
Yeah. to be like, I'll just get another one. Or it's an insane thought to me.
Yeah.
That either there's that small percentage of people who just never owned a PlayStation 4, can't find a PS5, so they'll get a PS4.
Sure.
I get that. But for the most part, Sony has sold the PS4s that they're going to sell.
Oh, sure. I mean, unless they go like a super, super competitive route and, I don't know, sell them at $200 or something.
Yeah.
And then just start letting them fly off shelves because, people need something to play right now. Or their PS4 is dying while they're waiting for a PS5.
Yeah, I mean, if I could get a brand new one for the low, I would.
Yeah.
Because mine sounds like a fucking
Of
fighter
course.
jet.
Of course. Yeah.
I didn't even have to deal with that for a really long time. People would tell me stories about how their PlayStation, and I would see like memes and stuff online. But I never had to deal with it. And then one day I turned it on and it was just like, and I was like, whoa, no. This baby is on its last
She's
leg.
breathing heavy. Yeah,
Yeah.
mine's been like that for the past 4 years.
I mean, every day I turn it on, I'm like, this could be the last time I play this.
To its credit, still working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
It is my PSVR machine
Yeah.
at this point that I only turn on for PSVR.
Do you need to get an entirely new headset to play on PS5?
No, there's an adapter for it, but
Oh.
I just don't feel like having that game load on my storage devices for
Okay.
it. So
Gotcha.
I keep them separate.
Gotta keep them separated.
Yeah, until PSVR 2 comes out, which
Yeah.
I will get. If I can get it.
Of course.
Based on shortages.
Yeah. That supply chain is a motherfucker.
Yep.
Apparently. I don't know anything about that either.
From what I hear.
From what I hear,
From what I've heard.
that supply chain is a bitch.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see how this all shakes out, shakes down,
Shake side.
shakes around. But I mean, from a competition standpoint, a little suspect. From a gaming standpoint, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I mean, I saw people like responding to the news on Twitter, and every person that was a PlayStation person complaining, the response to them was, just get an Xbox. Fuck you. And that's really the attitude that I hope is not the prevailing feeling.
Yeah.
But I have a suspicion that they may not admit it, but behind closed doors, Microsoft is like, they could just get an Xbox, you know? Not to say that they're necessarily going, fuck you if you own a PlayStation.
Right.
But I just can't help but feel, based on, you know, how these companies work, capitalism, and this acquisition, that like there's probably a behind closed doors feeling of like, they could just buy an Xbox.
Yeah,
you know?
there's a solution, and it
Yeah.
involves giving us more money.
Hey, you want to play these games that bad, and you know you don't want to. You're worried that we're gonna blah blah blah. Well, just get an Xbox,
Yeah.
and then you don't have to worry about it.
Problem solved.
Not to say that I wouldn't get an Xbox.
Yeah.
If I had the money.
Sure. I mean, from what I've seen as far as responses from Xbox in general, they've heavily leaned towards the ability to play their games on PC as being this olive branch of saying you don't have to play on Xbox.
Yeah.
You can just get a PC.
I've seen other people say that too. Not even people related to Microsoft. I've seen consumers be like, "Look, just get a PC," and it's like, "What do you mean, just get a PC?" When people say shit like that,
Yeah.
that's what bothers me. When it's like, "What are you talking about? Just get a PC? Are you out of your fucking mind? What?
Yeah, it's,
what universe are you living in?"
There's a steep, well, you know what to call it, like an educational barrier that keeps a lot of console gamers from making that leap into PC gaming dumb.
Well, there's that, and there's also, you know, the money.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're going to, I mean, something I faced when I was buying my PC was like, if you're going to invest that amount of money, you got to know what you're getting.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's like, yeah, I got the 28X, 42 spec.
Right.
Did you get the version 1 or the version 2.0? Actually, I found a 1.5.
Ooh.
Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that.
This guy got a 1.5.
You got the extra quadraulic cooling tubes? No.
Oh man, this guy didn't get the cooling tubes.
It's not even going to run. This thing's not even going to run.
I mean, what were you thinking?
Have you upgraded your quantum typifiers?
No.
I mean, you're definitely not running Cyberpunk.
You're
Sorry
not
to tell
running
you.
Cyberpunk.
But yeah, it's just not knowing the first thing about any of that stuff. It's so hard to piece and parcel out, especially if you're building a PC. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I tried to look up in the specs and like what I needed to get and what box to put it in and what coolers I need. I'm sure I'm sounding like an absolute idiot to anyone who's actually a PC gamer.
Sound like an idiot to me, and I don't even know.
A PC builder, excuse me. But I was lucky enough to find a really good deal on a pre-built PC that I did a little bit of research on. I looked at the comments and saw what people were saying about it, and everyone was saying this is a fantastic deal for what you're getting. Just modify this, this, and this, and you'll be good to go. And I'm like, perfect. Boom, jumping on it. And I know very few people have that opportunity. So unless you have like an older brother or really nerdy friend who can help you out with the process, very, very steep barrier for entry.
Right.
So I get it.
Yeah.
It's far easier just to save your money and go, here, give me Xbox.
Give me Xbox.
And that's it. That's all you have to worry about.
Yeah. Or and if you already have a PS5, like that's the other thing. If you were lucky enough to get your hands on a PS5, and now you're looking at this and you're going, well, fuck, had I known, maybe I would have made a different decision.
Yeah.
Now I just got this thing, and I don't know, I could be thinking very nihilistically or could be doom thinking.
Mm-hmm. Fatalistic.
Fatalistic.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That I think is the that's probably the furthest thing. The worst thing that could happen is that Microsoft goes, fuck you to Sony gamers and just goes full on exclusives. That's the worst thing that they could do.
Yeah.
As far as the industry is concerned and as far as the consumer and yada yada yada.
Right.
So maybe I'm looking at it in the worst way possible. But I don't think that we should count that option out completely.
Yeah, no.
Because it could happen.
It definitely could. And, I mean, again, looking at Bethesda, it's clear that could happen.
Yeah.
Because we didn't think that a game like Fallout would never come out on a Sony platform again. But here we are.
Yeah.
Or their brand new game coming out, Starfield, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Like the fact that that is going to be an Xbox exclusive is wild. So if that can happen, it can definitely happen to Call of Duty.
Exactly.
But here's to wishful thinking.
Think about a universe in which the next Call of Duty game is only Xbox and PC.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be crazy.
And included with Game Pass.
Yeah.
Day and date. Just like Halo was.
I know one of my friends would be so pissed because he only got a PlayStation because we were all still playing
On PlayStation. Oof.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's rough.
Mm-hmm. It's hard out here.
Uh-huh.
Well, not much else to really know yet how they're going to handle. I mean, Activision and Raven still have their hands full with Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Like Vanguard. Because let me tell you something, guys. Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. That game is borderline unplayable. It's so... I mean, the bugs have gotten better.
Yeah.
But, like, dude, over Christmas, when they had their Christmas break coupled with the walkouts, the game was unplayable. It was broken to the point that we started playing GTA Online.
That's funny.
Because we were like, we can't play this game.
Yeah. What would happen? It would crash, or
it would crash.
you get that weird glitch.
You would get a glitch where not only would the game crash, but it would brick your PlayStation. So you'd have to unplug your PlayStation, let it run its cycle, and then plug it back in.
Then the PlayStation complains to you like you did something wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you could, yeah, exactly. And it's like, how could you do this? And it's like, I didn't do this.
Right.
And then what would happen is once you tried to boot the game back up, you'd have to reinstall the entire game. That's like 150 gigs.
No.
On yeah. So it'd be just your night's over. You just have to pick a new game because your night's over.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
So that was happening. In-game bugs galore to the point that, I mean, freezes.
Your gun explodes and when you aim down the reticle.
It would.
Yeah.
You know what? Are you being facetious? Or
Oh no! I've seen the.
Okay.
glitch.
Okay. Yeah. Because I had one game where when I ADS'd and then the gun like went everywhere and it took over this entire house that I was in and it looked like a horror movie. There was like cells and shit going all over the place, and I was like, "Is anyone else seeing this?" And nobody else could see it, but it was obviously I could, and I couldn't see anything else. It had taken over the whole house. And so obviously I got killed because I couldn't see anybody coming in. And I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
It's taking everything from me.
Yeah.
So you get that coupled with the fact that, like, you know, their anti-cheat software is not nearly as robust as they made it seem.
The way it sounded, yeah.
To the point that there's gamers on PC who, PC and console, who went in there and they changed their names to, like, I use aimbot or I still cheat, stuff like that, just to fuck with Raven and Activision. So they got their hands full with this.
Yeah.
And then you couple that with like the balancing issues of the guns, where it's just like
the actual game issues as opposed to
So you've already got the bugs galore, and then you couple that with the actual game not like being balanced correctly, and it's just like it's a mess. It's a mess. They actually had to. Did you see the tweet where they had to publicly apologize?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, Call of Duty. I think it was the Activision account. I can't remember if it was Activision account or the Call of Duty account on Twitter. But they had to publicly apologize, come out and say, "We're sorry. We're aware of the issues. We're trying to get on top of it. We know that the gameplay experience is not up to snuff."
Yeah. When
a company has to come out like Cyberpunk, and publicly admit that the shit is not working.
Yeah.
It's one thing to put out patch notes and be like, we're aware of an issue. It's another thing to be like, try to get ahead of a controversy.
Sorry.
Yeah. So they got problems that they need to work out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I do say, I've been playing a lot more Battlefield recently.
Yeah.
Actually, just by happenstance, because I was playing the hell out of Call of Duty for a while. Multiplayer, obviously, not Warzone.
Right. Of course.
I only barely touch Warzone. Multiplayer is my jam.
Well, Caldera sucks.
Yeah.
The new map sucks. It just sucks.
Yeah.
You can't see anything. It's all the same color. There's bushes everywhere. It's massive. It's too big. It's just it's a problem.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Right. I transferred over to Battlefield recently because I originally was having no fun with it, and that's when I went back to Call of Duty because, you know, it's warm, it's comfortable, it's what you're used to.
It's warm, it's comfortable.
But I decided to jump back into Call of Duty with a bit more strategy involved, or Battlefield with a bit more strategy involved, because the biggest issue I had with Battlefield is that I suck. I had a couple of glitches here and there. A lot of people complain about it crashing on them. Crashes only happened to me maybe twice. Still sucked, but you know, never had huge issues with that. But I absolutely was dog shit. I couldn't get a kill to save my life.
Yeah.
No pun intended. But then I realized like it may be because all my guns suck. And it's a vicious cycle where if you're not getting kills with your guns, you're not going to level them up.
Right.
But you're not going to get kills without leveling up your gun. So I was like, what are you supposed to do? And so I literally Googled, like an old man. I Googled and I said, how do quickly upgrade guns in Battlefield? And I found out you can level up using just bots.
Yeah.
Put them on easy and go and play to your heart's content and level up your guns like crazy in like a half hour.
Yeah.
You can level up one gun almost completely and then go in and actually have fun in multiplayer.
Nice.
So that's what I've been doing, and it's actually a lot of fun. So if you're getting burnt out on Call of Duty, I recommend giving Battlefield a try, especially because they just announced they're doing more patches to it to help those affected. by their own issues.
Yeah, like a fucking like a charity, like a to help those affected by
the Battlefield issue.
Yeah, once I get my hands on the PS5, I'll go see Juan and get my copy of Battlefield and I'll jump on there.
Okay.
As it stands, I'm still stuck on fucking Call of Duty. And you know what's funny? They know that you need to level up the guns, so they have their own like farming thing where they give you a playlist of like the smallest maps and then just let you run amok until you level up their guns. They know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, of course.
They know what they're doing with this shit.
Also, for a change of pace, Knockout City. Still a lot of fun. Yeah. Which you can play on your PS4.
Yeah.
So if you ever want to get down on
jump
that,
back into that,
let me know.
I got stuff to play if I really wanted to jump out and, Yeah. But I don't know. I it's the non-committalness of a Call of Duty game where you can just jump in, play a couple rounds, and jump out.
Of course.
And even if they're a frustrating couple of rounds, you're still just like, well, I scratched that itch at least.
Yeah. There are, dare I say, too many games.
Yeah.
There are just too many.
Yeah.
I try to focus, but there's just always more knocking at my door.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yep.
So
right now, my main focus is, for all those who care, Horizon Zero Dawn, the DLC for it, because I beat the original game already, but I never played the DLC. So I'm doing that one before the new game comes out, because I have that one pre-ordered already. And, of course, Persona 5 Royal.
Of course.
I've realized about midway through my year at school.
Right.
So I'm definitely putting my head down and focusing on that one.
You gotta, I
really
want to
want
put your head in the books.
Yep.
You gotta really focus on that.
My knowledge is very high. Working on my charisma, my charm, excuse me.
Aren't we all?
Yes. And then just playing those multiplayer games on and off as the non-committals. So, and getting in Halo every once in a while. A little bit of Doom Eternal when I'm in the mood.
Nice.
And that's me. But there are too many games. Yeah, there are far too many.
Nice rotation of games. Yeah, I mean, I had that list of 40 most anticipated games of 2022, and it was just like, man, there's so much.
They keep coming.
They just
So, God of War.
Yeah, God of War is probably the most.
Is for me.
That's got to be the one, right?
Yeah.
I forgot all about that, but that's got to be the one.
I think so.
Can't wait to see how that looks on PS5. How it plays on PS5.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Mine, probably Sifu. We've talked about that on here.
Yeah. It's looked really good. That should be coming out pretty soon, shouldn't it?
It should be. I don't know. But the details of the game, they're now releasing a little bit more the plot. Well, not really the plot, but like the gameplay and all that stuff.
Yeah, February 8th.
Oh, hell yeah. So next month.
Very soon.
Yeah, not even next month. A couple weeks from now.
Yeah.
So I'll probably pick that up, and then, we'll see if that's what I hoped it is, because it looks so much fun.
Yeah.
All right. I think we parsed out as much as we could out of.
I think so.
We'll see. We'll see if they become a new superpower, like Ken Watanabe would say.
I don't know if you can do that accent.
Yeah, no. Maybe that was bad. Sorry. It's not like it's a Ken Watanabe never mind.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's say that.
Questionable at best.
Yeah.
But
on the line.
It was Ken Watanabe, not me just doing some random Asian accent.
Sure. Okay.
Sorry. Maybe they'll become a new superpower, or maybe they play fair and nothing changes.
Yeah. We'll see.
All right. I think we got it, but before we get out of here, I think we got to do one more thing, and that's the cheers of the week. So, Adam, start us off, bud.
My cheers of the week is Peacemaker. Yum, 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 yum. So, Peacemaker, if you haven't seen the new Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad.
Not Suicide Squad, but the Suicide Squad. Was a character in the Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad.
That I liked. I thought he was good, but when they announced that he was getting his own spin-off series, I wasn't super jazzed about it. I wasn't super excited about that prospect.
Yeah.
Just because he felt like I don't know, kind of a character that you get enough of as a side character or like a foil for the main characters.
Yeah.
In a story. So I wasn't really sure how he'd work as a main character. Let alone a main character in a TV show that we're, getting multiple hours of time with. Felt kind of a shallow character to me. Fun enough, but sustainable. I don't know.
Yeah.
Turns out I was wrong, because everything I've seen so far of Peacemaker has been a delight.
Yeah.
Great stuff from John Cena. Just really, really a surprise and delight. Because it's everything that James Gunn does well in one package.
Yeah.
So there's obviously humor, lots of violence, gross out body horror stuff, and it has it all in one complete package that feels so James Gunn. And
heart and emotion to it.
Yes. I should say that is another thing too. Yeah, lots of heart.
Yeah.
It all seems to come from a sweet place at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's not just it's ultimately feel good, I would dare say.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a really strange amalgamation of everything that James Gunn has done thus far, but done really well. And I'm excited to see where it goes from here, and if they can stick the landing. We're supposedly getting more tomorrow.
Yeah. Tonight, technically.
Yeah. By the time you guys are listening, it's already out there, so go check it out. But I highly recommend, if you are a fan of James Gunn, if you're a fan of the Suicide Squad, you get a bit more of that sort of feel. And I recommend you check it out if any of those things are ringing the bell for you.
I didn't think that the Suicide Squad was so much better than Suicide Squad that it deserved like all the press and love that it got. I thought it is a good movie, which I guess is enough, because Suicide Squad sucks so much.
I gotta walk you back on that statement, because the Suicide Squad, even being just good, makes it like leaps and bounds better than Suicide Squad.
I guess that's true. Man, I guess I underestimated how bad Suicide Squad is. And apparently there's an Ayers cut that's supposed to be really
shut up.
good. Yeah,
we don't care.
Everybody's got it's what it is now. It's the whole thing. People want to see the fucking Schumacher cut.
David Ayers is a bad director. He's a bad director. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's a bad writer.
Yeah.
He's not very good at writing. He's good if he's in collaboration with another brilliant person.
Yeah.
He's done good things. But all in all, bad director. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's just facts.
How much better could that movie have really been? If the big bad is still the same big bad, even if there's more footage of the Joker being the Joker, like how much better could that movie really have been?
Not much. Unless there's another movie that's on the cutting room floor.
If it's a different movie completely, yeah.
Yes, if there's literally 2 hours of film that was just cut out of it, maybe. That makes it a completely different movie, but I don't see how that's salvageable. Just, I don't know. I don't know how you make that movie and think you've done something at all.
All right, so let me walk that back. I guess the Suicide Squad is the fact that it's even a good movie is leaps and bounds better than. Anyway, I still didn't think I wasn't like my socks weren't blown off by the movie to the point where I was like, do we need spin-off characters getting their own TV shows and shit? Like,
especially one as unlikable as Peacemaker.
Yeah, there wasn't one character. I guess I'd like to see a Rick Flag show because I'd like to see Joel Kinnaman getting any work that he can get.
Yeah.
And Idris Elba, always
Of course.
love the guy. So like,
He was maybe the best thing about that movie.
no, he's fantastic. So, but anyway, to the point, I agree. I wasn't like Peacemaker show comes or they're doing the press for it. They had already okayed the show before the Suicide Squad had even come out.
Yeah.
They were already like, yeah, the show's a go. I was like, man, they are confident.
Yeah.
And they're confident for a good reason because that show fucking slaps so far.
Yeah.
The first 3 episodes are amazing. I was pleasantly surprised to be wrong
Yeah.
because it's a good show so far.
Yeah.
First 3 episodes are fantastic. Like you said, it's going to be exciting to see if they stick the landing.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
all right. My cheers of the week is going to the late, great Mac Miller, who would have been 30 years old today. I saw, a lot of stuff about the guy today, people showing love and all that stuff, and it made me think about, what he had done, what it seemed like he was gonna do. I saw this thing, Pitchfork nailed it. Sometimes they nail it, sometimes they're dude.
That's the only reason you keep following us. Every once in a while.
Yeah,
they nail
exactly.
it.
That's exactly it. Because for the most part, you're just like, man, why am I still following this page?
This is insufferable.
It's so sometimes it can be so mean or douchey or fucking elitist, and you're just like, why am I still following this page? And then sometimes they get it right.
Yeah.
And they wrote this like byline about him, where they were just like, he was a guy who his improvement as an artist was on public display. We got to watch a guy start off as like I've said it before. I wasn't a fan of his when he first came out.
Yeah.
I didn't get the fanfare over him. I got why girls liked him. He's a good looking kid, and like I got that. But like as a rapper, I was like, fucking what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But being able to watch in real time his improvement as an artist, like he was a guy who like really, really took it seriously. And then you see the people that respected him and the people that he collaborated with were, literally a who's who of the biggest names in music who understood that this was a guy who really took it seriously. He wasn't just out there trying to be, trying to like parlay. Because, damn it, a lot of artists, a lot of white artists especially, rappers or people in hip-hop will use rap and parlay that into a bigger thing and try to use and then go, oh, now I'm going to do a TV show, or now I'm going to change genres completely, and now this is my thing.
Right.
And Google it. You can fucking I could run off a list of them right now.
Yeah.
But he wasn't like that. He really was trying to be the best artist that he could be, and it was like this pure love of hip hop and trying to make the best music that he could make.
Yeah.
And you could see it especially on the last 3 records where you're like, man, this guy has really got something.
Yeah, it wasn't like a parlor trick for him.
No.
Yeah.
No. And it just makes it even more sad because he was so sincere in what he was trying to do and how he was trying to do it. He had his missteps, and his missteps were super public too. And I guess they were more forgiving because you were like watching a guy just figure it out.
Yeah.
And he was around our age, so it's like we were figuring it out together.
Yeah.
So, man, it's just a really, really sad loss because I thought I said it when he passed. Like his last record, Swimming and Circles, the one right after he passed, but Swimming especially, I was like, phew. Said it before he died. I was like, holy shit, this is gonna be.
I remember you pointing it out before, like when it came out originally. That do you listen to Mac Miller? Have you heard this album? And I was like, because I was the same way. Like I never really paid him any mind, honestly. Like specifically within like the backpack rapper days.
Yeah.
Like I didn't listen to kids and stuff like that. But around the same time you were talking about his evolution beginning, that's when I started to hear things here and there, and then when you said that, I paid them more mind. Unfortunately, at the very end.
Yeah. It always seems to be that way, right?
Yeah. So
yeah, shout out to the boy,
Mm-hmm.
Mac Miller.
Yeah.
All right. One more thing before we get the fuck out of here, and that is to review these brewskis. So, Obi, please tell the people how you felt about it. The Hollow from Redlight.
I likey the Hollow. We'll see if it likes me back. If you guys don't know what I'm referencing, it's because I have lactose intolerance, which is a heads up for you guys if you're coming out to Redlight. If you are going to try the Hollow, I recommend highly, if you're lactose intolerant like me, bring at least a couple of lactates with you. That being said, I think this is a vast improvement, actually, on their first attempt at the Hollow IPA. I think it's a little more mellow. I think it has a bit more of a... it's hard to say. It's almost like a pastry flavor.
Uh-huh.
That works really, really nicely to mellow everything out and really, really smoothen the entire experience of drinking it. The other one I felt was just a tad too hoppy, which is weird for me to say, but I think this replicates the flavors that you get with a Hollow a bit more accurately.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I do wish there was a non-lactose version so I could enjoy it more freely. But that being said, I think it sets out for everything it's trying to do. I'm going to give it a 5.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have to agree completely, and also give it a 5. I'm not a big milkshake IPA guys. Wouldn't willingly go and get a milkshake IPA at this point, but I get the fucking the hype.
Yeah.
Like, well, why people enjoy them and stuff like that. I think the lactose does the heavy lifting in that regard, especially with the Hollow, because that's really the big separator.
Yeah.
That really gives it that milkshake IPA
Sure.
mouthfeel and taste. So if you didn't have that, you would just have an ube IPA, I guess.
I'll take it.
I know.
Yeah, I'll take it.
But yeah, I think this version, I agree, is less hoppy than the last, from what I can recall, and I think that works. I think it mellows it out a little bit. I don't think it's I think it's more balanced as far as like its sweetness and its hoppiness and its bitterness. So yeah, I think it's great. If you guys dig milkshake IPAs, I think you'll really dig this. And the fans who liked the Hollow before, you will not be disappointed by its return.
Agreed.
So I think that is it. What do you think?
I know it's it.
Well, if Obi says that's it, then we got it. This has been the One Beer In podcast for myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Go check out the Hollow celebration.
That's right.
Sunday.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have a beautiful evening.